He's on YouTube now. Is he? How funny.
Can you tell me who I am?
You got it all.
I know, what is it?
It's showing everything. The whole
Okay.
screen.
Awesome.
Am I in your way at all?
No, you're good.
They got out of order.
Forgot my webcam today. When in doubt.
I got a thumb drive.
We'll see if this works. I just gotta hit it to make sure it doesn't go to sleep on me or something. A+, good job, Pat.
Oh, that's just the symbol of quiz. That's all that.
Oh, we're just going right into the...
That's right. Like I said last time. Let me see who's here.
Is this reflecting that?
Is it reflecting it?
I mean, it's showing it there?
Oh yeah, that's on there.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not sure how big it looks on the
No, it's fine.
on a recording. Hey, Jesse. Crystal. Karen. Sarah. Roberto. Monica. Madison. David. Daniel. Lindsay. Blake. Aaron. Trenton.
Yes.
Michelle.
Here.
Maria. Catherine. Desiree. Olga. Sixta. Sean. Huh? What's that? We're right here? 7.
It's the same thing. It's just
T and 7 is
different
not the
words.
same thing.
No, all the equations are wrong. Years times, semi-annually.
Well, oh, you mean the method?
Yeah, all the method is
Well, yeah,
wrong.
this won't take very long. I might just move on to chapter 14 today. Because chapter 14 is a mouthful.
Yeah, the methods are all the same. It's just
Caitlin. Joseph. Pete.
You.
Brandon. Johnny.
Here, Annuity. And Annuity is 1708.
Okay.
1708 on these books.
All right, so what I'm going to do first, I don't want to bore you to death. So, I know I've written this on the board already a couple of times. You don't have to rewrite it. And that's the basic formula to find the future value, right? Or present value, either one, depending upon the problem. But use the same process every time. Same process. So what we're looking at here is annuities. And I'll just give you a couple of examples of annuities and how they work, what it really means. And then I'm going to go through this. I am not going to repeat find N, find like last time, find R. Table, I'm not going to say that, 100 times. I don't think you need that. If you have any questions, you can ask. There are 10 problems. So, if we get through this in 20 minutes, I'll probably go on to chapter 14 and lecture on that. In the end of the course, it's possible you might not have the last test. In other words, the last thing you might do is the chapter 7 quiz. I think that's the last chapter. I believe so. 15, 21, or 7. I get it mixed up. So anyway, we'll see, what time permits for. I do have an exam for those 3 chapters, but in the last year I haven't been giving it. So, okay. So take a look at what's going on here. Again, look at the word annuity. Examples of annuities. Well, first thing you want to think of is annuity means a series of payments. It means a series of equal payments over time. So, a good example would be a retirement plan. You put so much into it every month, right, and your employer matches it, supposedly or hopefully, right? Some percentage of what you put in, and then after 20, 25 years, what happens? You start receiving those payments. Every month, is it every month? I've never retired, so I don't know. I think it's every month for the same payment every month for maybe 20 years or something. Yeah. And it might vary. So that's an example of an annuity. If you win the lotto or the lottery, whatever you want to call it, and you decide to get, instead of taking the lump sum of money, which I think is smarter, and we'll have a discussion about that maybe one day. Have we talked about that before here? I don't think so. Okay. Why taking the lump sum might be a smarter decision. And that's kind of my opinion.
You could be dead in a year.
Huh?
You could be dead in a year.
Not only could you be dead in a year, the government in 20 years, are they going to still be paying you that money? Who knows? Inflation eats away at our money, so if you have $1 today is worth more than $1 tomorrow. Because if you have the dollar today, you can invest it today. So if you get a series of payments for 20 years after winning the lottery, you're having to wait for that money. You know what I'm saying? You're getting some of it every month. And then during that time, inflation is slowly eating away at the value of that money, and plus you're not earning interest on it. They do take the taxes out off the top, though. If you win, they take out, was it 30%?
42%.
40%. If you don't get the payments, they probably take out more.
Yeah.
Or if you get the payment plan, the lump sum, they take out more, I believe. But if you're a good investor and you take that lump sum and you know what to do with it, then you could probably be much better off than getting those 20 payments.
You should win them all.
Of course, we all should win.
Yeah.
And keep your
I don't even play it.
Don't be like the lady in Baltimore who
Supposedly
supposedly lost her ticket. She's F now.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. Yeah.
She claimed she had the winning ticket to the Mega Millions.
Well, they can't just take her. Oh, sure, we believe you. Here's your money.
Yeah, exactly. And then apparently she lost her ticket when they said, "Well, what is it?"
Well, somebody has it.
She should have signed it.
Well, a total of 3 people won, so you have to split
Oh, well, she'll find one day, like in between the console of her car and her car seat, somewhere down at the bottom. Okay, take a look at the problem. And again, I'll explain the first one or two, and then after that, I'm just going to put it up there, and if you have any questions, you let me know. Because it's pretty much just like chapter 12. Now, there is one more thing before I get started. You have to make sure you use the right table. They give you the right table link in the problem. You know that.
Mine
But,
won't come up.
huh? It won't
Mine
come.
wouldn't come up.
How do you know you haven't taken it?
No,
Oh,
I mean the last test.
They should come up.
Mine did, before they did.
Call
Now
tech
it's like
support.
listen,
Call the McGraw-Hill tech support. There's a number should be on the home page probably. Or after you log in, there should be a number.
Mine comes.
Yours comes up? Yeah. It's supposed to be coming
But
up.
I used the book, but I didn't have any problem.
Either
using
way,
the book.
you know.
Let's get me fixed.
Good.
So, okay, back to what I was saying. In your book, you have to make sure you use the right tables. You are not using the same tables you use in chapter 12. You're using the future and present value of an annuity. So it's not just future and present value tables, it's future and present value of an annuity.
So those different tables in the book?
Yes, they're different. It's not the same tables. And in the thin book, you'll see them at the top of the column. It should say, what does it say, amount of annuity? Okay, in the thin book, it's called amount of annuity, that's future value. And in the present value of annuity is called just that, present value of an annuity. But anyway, you should have the right table here.
I just used the one off there because I know it's the right one.
I would too.
Save me
Mine
the
would
trouble.
come-
I mean, why wouldn't you?
Yeah, it's easier.
But you paid for those things, so I figured I would explain.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad I haven't because like I said, mine won't come up.
What if it doesn't come up? Yeah. Okay, so take a look here. Calculate the ordinary annuity. The amount of the payment, as we call it the payment now. Now, this is the same thing as saying, or I want you to think of it as the principal. In other words, the way we've been doing things in previous chapters, think of it like it's the principal. They call it the payment. And it's going to be made semi-annually for 7 years, and the person's going to earn 6%. So the future value of that annuity, here it is, it grew from $8,800, according to these terms, to, what was it? I missed it.
It grew to 150.
It only happens once every class day. 150 and 359, is that it?
Yep, 44. Yep.
So, yeah. Now think about retirement plans. Think about how that works. You put in so much money. At the end of your retirement period, when you're ready to start drawing from it after 25 years of working or whatever and putting into it, it's probably going to have a pretty significant, future value. I mean, in other words, if you projected it from today, 25 years into the future, putting in a certain percentage of your paycheck or so much every check, and they matched it, assuming they would earn so much, an average amount of interest every month on it, whatever, or every year, you could look, or every period, I'm sorry, you could see what that might be worth later. And usually it's like anywhere from $250,000 to, 300,000, 400,000, depending upon your retirement plan. Anyway, so what's happening right here in this step? You should remember that, right? We're finding what? You're finding the number of periods. So years, the number of years, times, why 2? Because
Semi-annually.
it's compounded twice a year. So if it was quarterly, it would be 4. If it was annual, it would be 1. If it was monthly, it would be 12. I don't know, 12 fingers. That would be interesting. Okay, so anyway, we use the same 2. Now, to get the rate per period, we take the 6% they give us here and divide it by that same 2. And then we go to the table where N and R intersect, right? Find the table factor. There's your table factor. Multiply it times the payment, which, we might call the principal in previous chapters, but the payment. And there's the future value.
I'm like, okay, well, that message.
Yeah, that's the future value. So, any questions on how this works? Very similar to chapter 2.
Yeah, it's almost
So
identical.
let's take a look at the second one. If it's the same, I won't say anything. I'll just let you take a look. If you have questions, you can ask.
No, it's the same.
Okay. There is one difference here. It's present value. But it's an annuity problem. But it's present value this time.
Is there more than one annuity? Because it says ordinary annuity, I was just wondering.
Oh, there's annuities due. And I had to substitute for a class last week at Rampart, and I don't usually cover those, but they do. So I explained it to them and everything. Usually in here, I don't test you on it. The only difference is in an annuity, you're putting in money either in the beginning of a period, like the beginning of a year, or you're putting it in at the end of every year. So that's what makes the difference between an ordinary annuity and an annuity due, for anybody that's been looking in your textbook. It all has to do with the time when you invest the money, when you deposit it. At the beginning of a quarter or at the end of a quarter? At the beginning of the month or the end of the month? That's the main difference. But all I'm going to test you on is ordinary annuities. So there's nothing else hidden here. You just follow these steps, just like in Chapter 12, and you find the answer. So any questions on this one?
No.
If you're taking notes, I mean, what's important here to write, really? Is it important to write this stuff up here? If you know it's
No.
number 2? No, because number 2, you're going to get the same one, except you're going to get different numbers. So it'll be the same format. So I'm just trying to save you some time. If you've been writing this up here, usually you don't have to. It's usually this down here.
Yeah, I just
Right.
write that.
That's what I write.
And some of
Okay.
it I leave out, like that 7
That way I
periods and the
know
4% down
exactly how
there.
it's done.
That's what I would do, yeah. I mean, make things efficient. Okay, ready for another one? I'll be similar to this one. Yeah, see?
Yep.
See, which one is this one? Like it's future value, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if there's enough time to cover that lecture on 14. It's pretty long.
Cool, originally, you have to put it into 2 class periods. So.
Well, one for the lecture, one for the quiz.
Oh.
Just like normal.
Oh.
These, I probably could have done 12 and 13 in one period. You know, maybe next time, next year.
Yeah.
But, because they're the same, almost the same.
Yeah. It's,
So, yeah, we'll just see when we finish. But you get to relax for 12 and 13, and then 14, you know, you have to tighten up again. There's several formulas in there. You know, it's a totally new thing. It has nothing to do with what we're doing here.
That's goofy.
Well,
bring it on.
I just follow the
The-
layout
yeah.
that was given to me by my department.
Mhm.
And I usually don't try to change too many things, if you know what I mean. There's a reason for that.
Yeah.
Some places they don't care. They say, here, do what you want. Over here, it's not really that way all the time. Yeah.
When they ask for a present value of annuity, will it say present value? Find the present value of
You
annuity?
mean like here?
Yeah.
No, it doesn't always say that, but when you open the table, it'll tell you at the top, present value table or future value. Yeah.
It did every time
Just
I
look at
noticed
the
that.
length
when I
of
was
time
looking at-
and
So if
be
you
able
want to
to
use
tell
your
from
book,
that.
you still need to click on
Yep.
it. So if it really has the year for future kids. I just use those.
It's just easier.
Are you ready for another one?
Fancy
Okay.
clothes.
Okay, this one. Oh, again, so it's present, excuse me, not present, future value of an annuity. How much of this do they cover in accounting? Do they cover a lot of this in accounting?
A little bit in 122, a ton of it. in 211.
It's not my favorite topic, to be honest.
I just got quizzed on it right before we started.
Really?
Well,
Oh, okay.
and we go into annuities.
Annuities do, yeah. I'll probably throw some in next semester. I mean, a few can't hurt, you know. I mean, the only difference is when you calculate in, you add 1 to it, right? The annuity do, whenever you calculate in, you have to add 1 to the periods. Does that sound familiar?
I
Yeah.
do it just like you do it. We do the N and
If-
the R, just like.
Well, yeah, right, but if it's an annuity due, not like an ordinary annuity like here, don't you add 1 to the periods? You always add 1.
No, we didn't.
I can show you one here later if you want.
Well, I can show you in my book.
Really? They don't do it?
No, that's not the way she taught it.
All right.
We had 6 different tables. One was for.
6.
We had 6 tables. 2 for annuity, or 2 for annuity due, and 2 for ordinary annuity.
Okay.
They're all the same.
Of course they are. Present value of an annuity. Present value, so you just use the present value table. You follow the same method. Enjoy these, because the next chapter will not be like this. It's,
Morningness,
you know,
huh?
it goes from easy to complex. I don't want to say difficult, but back and forth. It's not difficult. Yeah, it's just more steps, more calculations.
This is asking for the present value of the annuity.
I don't know if you're reading the little scenarios at the top. I mean, it does kind of help you to understand annuities because it explains how people set them up, why they use them.
I just pulled the numbers out and put it in the formula and say done.
My dad was paying me $14.
Yeah.
You see,
That's what I'm saying.
like right here, for instance, we have this guy Ed. It says, how much must Ed invest today to pay his son $14 every 6 months for 14 years? So Ed would have to, invest a big chunk of money today, earning a certain amount of interest, to be able to pay his son in the future a series of payments. You see, just like your retirement works, that kind of the same way, right? You put into it, but you don't put down one lump sum. You don't put down a lump sum. You put down a payment every month.
I'll call social services.
Nowadays, with older children coming home, you may as well start doing that when they have
Yeah.
to move back in.
Why is that a concern?
Well, a lot of them, because of the unemployment.
Yeah, it's more common.
They
Yeah.
have to go back
No one's
home.
coming back home to me, thank God.
You have generations living with
I've
each other
had one
now.
or,
Huh?
two
You have
or
generations
that.
living with each other now.
Not long.
Yeah. In some cultures, it's common for the entire family, not just the immediate family, but aunts and uncles and everybody to live in one house.
Right.
Yeah.
That's chaos. Okay, you ready for another one?
Yeah.
You need about 2
Well, they won't be late for dinner though.
I'm just too spoiled, I like having breakfast, so.
Same thing.
Okay, so it obviously is a future value problem. And there are the steps, the same old steps.
Oh, lying about, okay, I'm like, what? I read that one.
In this chapter, sinking funds are covered. I don't usually hit those, and I find my coworkers or co-instructors, most of them don't really go into that in detail. Basically, what that is when you're setting up an annuity for you in order to pay something off later. You're planning on paying something off, or maybe buying new equipment for a company, or replacing the building, or whatever it might be.
When was this taken? Because I bet not everybody has $112 laying around now.
Hold on, that's not too much.
You might want to put a negative sign in front
I
of
think this
that.
book was written before.
Then you would have a negative answer. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure when this was written. I take that back. My first semester 2 years ago here was supposedly, that was when they first started using this website. And there used to be more mistakes in these problems. They cleaned it up a lot, thank God. Because I had to go through hell. I had 3 sections of this class. It was brand new. And I would have to find the mistakes. Like you see mistakes in the PowerPoint sometimes, that's how it was in the quizzes. That's kind of normal when it's new. There shouldn't be too many, you know, but yeah, it wasn't fun.
You know, this book has 13.4863. They have 13.4864.
Let's see, if you're taking this.
If you have a problem with the answer, just shoot me an email.
And I'm trying to follow through because
Because what I can see, in case anybody didn't know this, I can go into your quiz, I can see what you put in for the answer, and then I can click on a button and it'll show me what it should be. You know, so I can see both. It'll show me how it's supposed to be worked out too. So you know, just send me an email if use the one, use either one. Use that. Use this one.
So many problems.
Oh, is this?
all the same.
Kind of remind me of John.
So $112 after 11 years if you're in 4%. There's the future value of it.
And after 11 years.
That ain't much, I guess.
Yeah.
I know.
You might as well spend $112.
Still not bad, it's 4%.
Go to
But not for 11 years.
so cripple we could try and double that.
Ready for another
Couple
one?
hours.
3 or 4 years and it's just see.
I can take that to casino.
That's what I mean.
A few more. There's a present value problem.
That one almost didn't hit.
What will you miss out the income? 2 years?
Yeah, what is that interest? I was looking at you, I was like, that ain't bad. Keeping 530 a month for 2 years.
Yeah, this is a divorce
For a divorce.
situation here. Yeah. Child support. I mean, it's,
I just started getting.
That's
my
pretty
child
light
support
compared to
after
some
30
people
years.
I've seen.
oh, did you get back pay?
I'm finally starting, but only on one kid. I'm just now.
Must be a
getting
lot of
it
back
after
pay.
30 years.
That's a lot. That's a lot of.
Well, they stopped, after they hit 21, they stopped.
Right.
Well,
Right.
my youngest is 27,
But still,
but they're still, give me only her, but they're not giving me the other two yet.
it's weird.
Because that's how long it took them to find her.
30 years.
How much do they
Are
owe
you?
you?
Huh?
How much do they owe you?
A lot.
I don't know how much he owes me.
Child support is nasty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's-
Well, the only reason is because
He loses kids.
Yeah.
The state's
I feel so
going
lucky.
out.
I don't have to deal with any of that.
I didn't
Are you
even.
ready for
Wish
another?
for.
Huh?
State was
Oh, I'm not wishing for it. Opposite.
Wait a sec, one sec.
Are you ready for another one?
Yes.
Going too fast?
Yeah.
I know they're all exactly the same.
Yeah. Well, I had to quiz you on it, so.
Not really.
That's why I'm not taking
Yeah, I
notes
really, I did.
at the moment.
It's required.
We wouldn't have said anything.
But
How am I going to take that chance?
What chance?
There'll be that one rogue student.
You'd be surprised. One of the comments, the first semester I taught this class, which was the toughest one because the book was new, everything with this website was new. And one of the things that they told me in my evaluation summary was, I guess it was just a few students maybe that said they wanted more work. I couldn't believe that. I'm like, you want more work? If anything, they complained that there's too much work.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, you should have told me something. I would have assigned you more work. go home and take your book and go do, you know, all the practice problems at the end and bring it back to me, and we'll take a look at it after every class. You know, I've been talking to the other people that teach this class, and they usually do about 15 problems, between 12 and 15 per chapter, so it's about the same. See right here, this company is planning to repay some money 21 years from now, and they want to figure out how much, well, it tells you how much they're going to put in at the end of each year, you know. So when the payment is put in at the end of the period, and not at the beginning of the year, in other words, it's called an ordinary annuity. If we're put at the beginning of every year, it'd be an annuity due, like I was saying earlier.
So you do brush up on it a little bit.
Oh yeah, yeah. I used to give it to. I just still experimenting with this class. What to, you know, some things, taking things out, putting things in.
Yeah.
Are you ready for another one?
Same thing.
Okay, so it's present value. Same old thing.
Patrick,
Yeah.
you should change your table factor times payment to this chapter.
Oh, yeah. I suppose. Yeah, they don't use the word principal in there. They use the word payment in every problem.
Well, that makes sense.
It's always a series of payments we're talking about.
Yeah.
And there's just one more. Is half an hour enough time to cover chapter 14? I don't know. I don't want to put too much on your plate. I mean, you have 12. That's not due yet, right?
Not till Wednesday.
Wednesday, and you're gonna have this one open up today.
And then,
No, I guess we're gonna wait because, and then I'd be opening up 14 on Wednesday. Excuse me. Then you'd have 3 of them open at the same time. You know.
That's okay.
Well, it's okay for some people.
It's
I
not
should-
okay.
I can take a vote and see.
No, it's not.
Mm.
I work on 2 major,
Yeah, I would do
2 major
that.
projects right now, and that keeps me up.
Yeah, really.
That takes up most of my time as it is.
If it was like unanimous, you know, I could do that. But
I finished designing a brochure for a special needs program.
Does that help, Johnny?
Huh?
Does that help when you put it up there like that?
Oh, no. Yeah. So I have to. No, it's more an actual.
Yeah, I told him to complain to you about
You
it.
should have just emailed.
Yeah, he said no.
The time,
Got a 90.
the time it takes out of your life to email and get a response back on my phone, it's not worth it.
Yeah, we got an A in it. It was.
Yeah. Well,
and I'm with the first chapter because I couldn't check my work.
well, this class is about they're at about 88% average right now, I think overall. So, you ready for the last one?
Yes.
And same thing.
I still got it.
Okay, so I can predict by next Monday, we'll have chapter 14 open. And then by Wednesday, probably that same week, I'm not going to wait a week, I'm going to give you the test review for 12, 13, 14. Next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday?
Yes.
Okay.
and it'll open it up, it'll open that night.